Alright, this first video for this Unit 1 review covers questions 1 through 7. So we're just going to dive right into it. Here are how the solutions are worked out. So with number 1, the question states QRST, so that means they're talking about this quadrilateral on the right, is the image. Remember, the image means it's the after, so this would mean the before of CDEF. So this is the pre-image, this is the image. The question says, what is the corresponding image of FC? So F to C just means that we're looking at just this line right here, F to C. Now, if you can tell how this pre-image looks like this image, it looks like it's been flipped over this line and then maybe kind of rotated down a little bit. But in any case, you should notice that like D to C, there's not much of an incline as compared to E to F. So D to C and Q to T would kind of be together, correspond together. E to F and R to S would kind of correspond together. So when they're talking about FC here, they're talking about the correspondence with S to T. So S to T would be our answer, so D would be S to T because it corresponds with FC. So you should notice how they look pretty similar together. Alright, question 2. Question 2 says translations are a transformation. So again, our whole unit was about transformations, how figures change. A translation is in fact where we are sliding from a pre-image to an image. So that is true. Translations are basically just kind of moving to a new location, sliding to a new home. For question 3, it says the rule for translation is written in the format TXY. Now, you should notice, again, the T, we have our capital T's, capital R's, lowercase r's, capital D. These letters just tell you what kind of transformation it is. So in this case, they actually say, the question says translation. So we should know that T stands for translation. Now we have this, almost looks like a point, like coordinates of a point. But when we're talking about rules for transformations, these kind of tell you how the rules work. So in this case, the X stands for if we're moving left or right. And the Y tells you if you're moving up or down. So again, it kind of follows the idea with the coordinate plane where this is my Y-axis. This is my X-axis here. If you're moving up, that's positive movement. If you're moving down, that's negative movement. And then with our X-axis here, the horizontal one, if you're moving to the right, it's positive, and if you're moving to the left, it's negative. So if this was like a -2, +3, then we would interpret this as left 2, up 3. So part C, or answer is C. X means you move right or left, depending on if it's positive or negative. And then for Y, you move up or down, depending on if it's positive or negative. Question 4. Question 4 says, given the transformation above, what is the rule for the transformation? So this transformation here, you should notice how this looks to be the exact, or these two figures, ABC and ABC, A prime, B prime, C prime, they look to be extremely similar. All they did is they just moved it to a new place. So this is an example of a translation. So if it's a translation, we know it's got to be a capital T. And we can just look at maybe point A to A prime. So to get from A to A prime, I have to go, and again, you need to be able to determine which is your pre-image and which is your image. So if this is our pre-image, we know that because our image has these primes, so A prime, B prime, and C prime. That tells you that it's the image. So that means that this is what we're starting with. So if we take any of these points, A, B, and C, and we just basically figure out how we get to these new points. So like we could do it with A. So if I take A, I got to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So since we're moving right in the coordinate plane, that is a positive 6. Oops, that's not very good. Then, after I move right 6, I got to go up 1, 2, 3. So to get from A to A prime, my rule would be a translation, so capital T, of right 6 and then up 3. And we could check for all the other points. So B to B prime would be right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 1, 2, 3. So that rule works for B. We could check with C as well. So C would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So again, the rule is consistent. So that means that my answer is C, translation of 6, 3. All right. Next up, question 5. So these types of problems I imagine are going to be the hardest on the test because they're all blanks. So if you kind of get your blanks out of order, you could end up missing all of these. So make sure you're extra careful with these problems. So number 5 says, after performing the transformation of capital T, -1, -2. So again, with our translations, they're in this format. So the X tells you to move left or right. Since this is negative, we're going to move left 1. And then -2 means we're moving down 2. So we're going to take all 3 of these points, A, B, and C, to determine and move them left 1, down 2 to determine the new coordinates, A prime, B prime, C prime. So I can just start with A. A should be left 1, so I'm going left 1 and then down 1, 2. So A prime should be at -5, 0. B, left 1, down 1, 2. B prime is going to be right here. Is that -4, -2. And then C, I'm going to go left 1, down 1, 2. C will be right here, which is at -2, 0. And that is C prime. So I'll just go ahead and type those answers in real quick. So I got -5, 0, -5, and 0. And let's see here. B was at -4, -2. And C was at -2, 0. All right. Question 6. Question 6 says, given the transformation above, what is the rule for the transformation? So again, this is just kind of this figure is just sliding to a new home, so it's a lot like question 4. So the way that this one works is we can really grab any of these points. I'll just go with B. So again, if it's just sliding and there's no rotating or reflections at all, then it's a translation. So we got a capital T, and then we can just use B. So for B to get to B prime, and again, this is my pre-image. This is my image because, again, the primes tell you which is the after and before. So if this is B to B prime, I got to go left 1, 2, 3. So left 3, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 4 is +4. So my rule would be -3, +4. D. All right, and then last question in this video is, after performing the translation 5, 2, determine the new coordinates of A prime, B prime, C prime. So with this one, it's not necessary for me to write this out. Again, the 5, 2 means we're going +5 is right 5. So I'm going to take A and go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the +2 means you go up 2. So 1, 2. So A is going to be at 1, 4. B is going to be right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 2, 1, 2. So B is going to be at 2, 2. And C, I'm going to go right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1, 2. So 4, 4 for C prime. All right, that's it for questions 1 through 7. If you have questions, let me know.